Well, now, hello. Welcome to the Field of Streams, where every week I, your host, Janine McRae, read a short piece of my writing to you so that you don't ever have to bother your eyeballs with it. These missives are short, for the most part, so why not subscribe so that you never miss hearing one? It's like a little dose of me in your ear every week. Fun. But before I get into reading it to you, let me just say, this episode was inspired by an interview with Molly Shannon, and it was on the Fly on the Wall podcast with David Spade and Dana Carvey. In that episode, both Molly and David mention how at different times when starting out, they quit trying to make it in comedy. They took a break. I referenced something Molly says in that episode in the thing that I'm about to read to you, where she's talking about being tired of being rejected all the time and just feeling like she should, quote, go to Gleason's and get half a chicken and go home and close the shades and call it a night, end quote. She says this happened right before she quit for a year. Just quit trying. And then she came back. At one point, David says, quote, to succeed, you have to be a quitter, end quote, which I found funny. It seems like that if your ego is getting pummeled, sometimes you just need to take a break, at which point you can, or they did anyway, step back and see what, if anything, you have and make the decision to keep going or not, I guess. They both did keep going, and it seems to have worked out for both of them. What else can I say about this episode? Oh, it's also a bit of a wink to a Charles Bukowski poem called If You Want to Be a Writer. Look that up and see if you can recognise it. But now, I invite you to sit back, relax, and allow me to read to you a piece of my writing called, Is This the Audition and Did I Pass? It moves fast, the asphalt of life. Your legs, your car, your bike, your jetpack of propulsion increase speed as they lose altitude, pressing your face closer and closer to the belt sander tarmac of constant rejection. All the no's, the not for us's. Then comes the heat of too little, too fast, too hard. Hard to maintain speed, commitment and motivation in this flash of road broil. Even harder to keep the elevation. If the high-speed rash of the gravel of rejection roughs up the skin of your ego, quit. Bone tired with it, bone dry, starved for the big break, you are all skin and bone with the dust and ash of dreams smudging a thumbprint on your forehead. In your doubt haze, bones begin their slow decline to brittle, no longer willing to hold the form of your striving, persistent, creative flesh. Too much work for too little result. Too long with head high and armour laced, resisting the constant stoop of decline. Heartache breaks and both bone and spirit snap with the sound of a gun firing in a far-off valley. If your very skeleton calls a car for the coast, if the creak and ache and calcium seep swells large and looming, and each bone in your body crackles under the relentless assault of the word no, quit. Darkness is a feel of a weighted blanket, creeping in from the edges of your constancy. It shrouds your crushed heart and smothers the get back up and do it all over again impetus to its inevitable death. It snuggles into the nooks and crannies of your loneliness on the road, stitching its slog memory thread into the fabric of please no more, no more, for the love of God no more. It is the should I just give up clap back on the rainy morning of decline, the darkened room of quietude and relief calling out to your battered, scarred heart. If your shoulders sag under the weight of the relentless grind, leaving you with the desire to chuck it all in, go to Gelson's and get a half chicken and go home and close the shades and call it a night, quit. For a day, a week, a month, a year. But know this, there is no hard quit full stop at the end of your creative life sentence. A quit isn't always a nevermore. Sometimes it's a not for long. Refocus, reframe, revive. Listen. From the edge of your quitting field, you may still hear your abandoned lamb bleat for you. From the edge of your field, your weather vane may finally spin to the true north of your purpose, and back to your lost baby sheep. Should the act of quitting tune your ears once again to the frequency and joy of your dream, stride into the field, scoop up that lamb, and with the energy of a shepherd who has found their flock momentarily lost to wolves, come back. Drink milk for your bones. Take a tall glass of time out and enrich it with the calcium of reconstruction. Rebuild your body from femurs only. It'll be a weird-looking skeleton for sure, but it'll be strong and capable of supporting 30 times the weight of constant setbacks. Feel the bumps and bony protrusions calling you to battle with an armor-plated spirit upgrade. This is the clarity of distance made sharp. This is the framework of your journey printed in 3D on the tabletop of the world. Should the act of quitting sprout boneheaded resilience to fortify your commitment, snapping your focus back to attention with straight-spined rigor, come back. Don your weighted blanket of darkness and absorb the warmth and security of your step away to the quiet mind. Feel the weight become lighter as the brain slows, the breath grows, and the purpose shows. Darkness absorbs light, but the comfort comes from knowing your light is always there. Hidden, but there in the dense shadow. Touch it with the very tips of your trembling fingers. Feel the pleasure of your secret intention. To quit or to quiet. Weigh your final decision with each passing moment of snug. And should the act of quitting reveal your true north weather vane, spinning to point straight at the black hole at the centre of your universe while pulling you toward your calling at an ever-quickening and joyous pace, come back. To quit is to confirm. To quit is to refuel. To quit is to prioritize purpose. Real estate agent? Or real agent of a lifelong creative estate. Quit. For your soul, for your sanity, for your faith in yourself. And should you come back, congratulations. You passed the audition. And there you have it, today's episode. I share these missives as a way of perhaps inspiring creative folk to get out there and make something of their own. If you enjoyed this little meander through my brain, feel free to share it with a friend. Be sure to follow the podcast so that you never miss an episode. And by the podcast, I mean this podcast that you're listening to, just in case I wasn't clear. But until next we meet, I'll leave you with this. Love what you love, and I'll see you out there making stuff.